Thank you very much, Sarah. Thank you for inviting me to this panel from the very beginning. I really appreciate it. 15, 16 years ago, when Mexico decided to have evaluation for many of the programs at the Ministry of Social Development, we want to go beyond only that evaluation of Progresa in 1997. So we want to have a systematic way of measuring all programs. So the Mexican government and researchers decided to have a small evaluation and technical office within the Ministry of Social Development, to have research and to have evaluations closer to the ministry, closer to the government, and to be more effective. And I was appointed at the time director of that evaluation unit. And we hired a very competent group of people, technical people. We were ready to do impact evaluations, to produce impact evaluations to almost all programs in the ministry. We really trained ourselves a lot. Many of us came from academia, as you heard. So we were really trained in order to produce evaluations within the ministry. So we were ready, and we started knocking at the doors of program managers. And we presented ourselves, saying, well, hello, good morning. I'm Gonzalo and my team. We are the new team, the new evaluation team at the Ministry of Social Development, and we are here to evaluate your program. And he went, excuse me? What are you here? Well, we are here to evaluate your program because we are the ones who know if your program is working or not. Because only before and after measurements is not enough. We really have to apply the latest techniques and say, well, no. I've been here for 14 years in this program. I know that it works. You just arrived and you're telling me that you are going to tell me if this is no, thank you very much, go away. So we went away. And then we knocked on another door, say, well, hello, good morning, this is Gonzalo and the team. We are very happy to introduce ourselves because we're going to evaluate your program. What? You're going to what? We're going to evaluate your program. Well, no, thank you very much. We don't want that. So we knocked at every door and no one opened the door. People called us Jehovah's Witnesses because no one answered our call. So sadly, that effort to produce evaluations, because we were really able to do that, was not fruitful. And the main reason is that we didn't have enough links and partnerships really with government officials in order to produce evaluations. So it wasn't enough to have a well-trained team on evaluators for governments to produce evaluations, for the ministries to produce evaluations. So that was our first experience coming from academia in trying to have evaluations. We finally were able to do evaluations. There was an internal regulation in the Ministry of Social Development, and we were happy to produce evaluations almost every year. There was the internal regulation said annual evaluations, and we have to send them to the Ministry of Finance by the end of August for them to use it in the budget. So with some difficulties, we were able to produce our first evaluations, and the regulation said you have to produce them on paper. So on the 30th of August of that 2003, we were able to give the Ministry of Finance almost 25 evaluations. It was a lot of boxes. We were to give them. We signed the whole thing, and we were really happy that finally we were able to produce evaluations. In the following year, on the 30th of August, we again went to the same office and gave them our boxes for evaluations. And the secretary said, well, yes, thank you very much. Put them together with those other boxes which are there. So on that corner, there were our previous evaluations, plenty of dust. So no one was looking at the evaluations, no one was reading the evaluations, and we said, well, why they don't read them? Because at the end of the day, we are well-trained evaluators, and we were now able to produce evaluations, and we are so smart that it's unbelievable that people are not using them. So we really had a pull challenge, as Anita was saying. So eventually, Mexico realized that we needed to build a more comprehensive monitoring and evaluation system with various rules, with various incentives, some positive, some negative, but that we have to build a monitoring and evaluation system which is always a political challenge with technical elements, not the other way around. So if we put up front the technical elements in order to produce a systematic monitoring and evaluation system, perhaps we will be failing. Because the pool challenge that Sanita was saying, we are not addressing it. Because at the end of the day, when we evaluate programs, we are evaluating people. We are evaluating program managers. So it's not as easy as just producing technically a report and saying, well, even in the most nice way, you are saying that some things are not working. Therefore, we decided to produce and to have this monitoring and evaluation system, which two important objectives, which sometimes they don't go along together: learning and accountability. We need both of them. And therefore, if we want to have both of them at the same time, we need to have special incentives, because not always they go hand to hand at the same time. Because if Manny tells me on private, if he makes an evaluation of my work, and in private he tells me, you know, Gonzalo, over the past year you've did well on this and this and that, and you didn't did well on this and this and that. And if I believe in Manny's assessment, then I will try to change, because I believe that his assessment, his evaluation was fair and was technically all right. But imagine Manny telling me the same, exactly the same, in front of 1,000 people. So, Manny, come on. Why are you telling me publicly? And of course, in terms of evaluations, we have to make them public because they are part of a public good. The government is using public resources, and therefore we cannot hide on terms of accountability our evaluations. Therefore, I really believe that on the examples we just witnessed here, the efforts the bank is doing in West Africa, Uganda, the Philippines, and Mexico, in all those elements, what we are trying to do with the help from 3IE and others is trying to build a systematic way of producing impact evaluations and eventually producing M&E, thinking about the political incentives of that. If we don't think of those incentives, then we may end up in some years saying here, well, you know, we were so happy at the beginning with our effort, but at the end of the day, something happened, someone got annoyed because of our evaluations. And so we believe that sometimes we need to change internal laws. We need to have laws from Congress to produce a better evaluation system. We need to have specific follow-up mechanism on recommendations. We really need to have, in the case of Mexico, we understand that sometimes evaluations which are public are harmful for program managers. Therefore, we also have evaluation awards. Every year we give an award to different ministries and different programs because they engage in evaluation. Therefore, if we really, I'm just finishing here, if we really want to have a productive and useful evaluation process, we really have to understand better that pull element that Sanita was talking about. Thank you very much.